Hi. Welcome to Putting on a Better Face with me. I'm Angel. You can call me Aunt Angel. And I know this is might be hard to watch, but also it's real life. I got my magnified mirror. This is a little series that's just sort of developing itself. And in my typical fashion, I have not pre-thought out what I'm really going to talk about as I put my face on. I was about to head to the store, and then I realized I could put on my better face before I go out in public. So that's what I'm going to do. I wanted to do it today anyway. And yeah, it's a good time to give you the disclaimer of like, this isn't how to do a great job. Heavens, I don't know about the rest of you, but one of the things in the classic old lady thing that happens as you're young too, but as your vision goes, you don't see those hairs. And then all of a sudden they're like, I just looked in this mirror yesterday. So it can't be that they grew a 1/4 inch in one day. Can it? No. I have a little beard trying to grow itself secretly. And if the lighting's not just right these days, I can't see much, apparently. Because look at that. There's some white ones. They're like 2 big, long black ones only. I keep missing one of them. I can't see and talk at the same time, obviously. It's a fascinatingly long hair for a person who looks at herself every day to not have seen, and now I can't grip it. Look, there's one that I pulled out though. That's amazing, isn't it? That's not how I planned for this to go, but as I mentioned, I didn't have a plan really. Ooh, ow. Those are like little fine hairs under those. Those stung. Well, you're welcome. For that. That's all I can say about that. I got other issues. I got these out to do these up here, but then those caught my eye. And this is why sometimes you just go to the store without bothering to put on a better face, because sometimes it gets overwhelming. I'm not clearly not gonna go for perfect. I'm just trying to do everybody at the store a little bit of a favor and look a little bit better. So one of these days, real soon, I'm gonna have to get a new eyeliner, because I don't know if you could tell, this one is down to the last threads. But like everything else, the price has gone up. And my bank account is like going down instead of up with it. And so today I'm not buying eyeliner, but maybe later this week. Fingers crossed. Just gonna try to get that done without talking. This probably isn't hurting me as much as it's hurting you. Let's see what we can do here. See, just even that little bit does a lot, doesn't it? Putting some eyebrows on. Then we go a little bit of, just a tiny bit of rosy cheek. And then just a tiny bit of highlight back here, or darkening, whatever that is. Not too much. It's easy to go too much. And there's no point in going overboard, because we're not going for any kind of perfection. We're just going for a little bit better face. Little bit better face. I was just listening to one of my favorite online coaches. I gotta stop saying my favorite. I have everything's my favorite or my unfavorite. One of my favorites is Peter Sage, I've only started listening to in the last few months. Oh, I see some more of those hairs now. And he is such a good coach. And he was talking about our relationships in what I was just listening to him in, and how we can have like level 1 or level 2 relationships only when we have transactional ideals or ideas in our relationships. Whereas if we can rise above that to a higher level where we take responsibility for our own wholeness first and then attract someone else who has done the same, we can start to have like level 3 relationships where we come together and really co-create rather than just either trying to heal or, more often than not, just kind of looping around the trauma loops. I know I thought I was done with the hair too, but then this mirror I'm looking in, it's giving you a nice effect, isn't it? That's the top corner of my 8 dragon room, which I'm sitting in here. I haven't done any documenting of it really yet. I got distracted before I even finished this. Let's see what we can do here. I'm just going to do a little bit of darkening there. It's probably a little much, but I don't care. It's for me. Well, I already said it's for me to feel like I did something for the people at the store, the people in my neighborhood. All right, put some of these eye drops in. So when we can heal ourselves and come to the table as a whole person, then we can have 3rd level relationships. The issue that I'm having with all of this is that as I'm aging, I'm finding the healing, like, it's hard to catch up to myself or keep up with myself. And last year I realized that I'm more autistic than I thought. I probably offend some people the way I put that, and that's all right with me. You're welcome. But, so I realized that my perspective is more skewed than I had realized, and that I might be, projecting my own perception. Might be, of course. We are all projecting our own perceptions over each other. And so it's like a combination of those 2 lenses going on for me. Of one, I'm just so normal like everyone else, trying to figure out how to have healthier human relationships, and not doing a perfect job of it. And for 2, I have this layer of extra on the positive and the negative side that we could call autism, or just oddness, or awesomeness, awesome sauce. I got like an extra helping of awesome sauce, and sometimes that gets in the way of my relationships, and sometimes it's too much awesome sauce. And to be fair, the counterbalance to that, because everything is in life isn't really good or bad, it's just is what it is. So there are, of course, negative consequences to having extra awesome sauce. I don't know if I'm making any sense, but really that's just an aside, like an extra filter on what I got going on. But the real point I was trying to get to is that even though I agree with the idea that it's best to make yourself whole, heal yourself, then co-create with a partner who's done the same, none of us is perfect, and most of us are far from perfection. And despite my best efforts, I keep aging, so there's this like ongoing sense of not catching up to myself and not getting more, as I perfect one thing, other things fall apart. So sort of this ongoing sense of like Alice in Wonderland. You got to run as fast as you can just to stay in the same place. And so the flip side of that sense of having a relationship, like working on yourself till you have a great relationship. Last relationship I had been single for, I don't know, somewhere between 5 and 8 years, depending on how you count singleness, working on myself. And then I really thought we were going to have this next level relationship, like I was describing, where we were both more healed and aware and conscious and coming at it as whole people. But what ended up happening is, turns out we still had unhealed trauma, which relationships are great at bringing out in ourselves, together, in each other. And by having this idea that we were in some kind of next level relationship, I think I harmed myself and perhaps him as well. I think it did not do our relationship any good by thinking of it as a next level thing. Now, maybe that's just because I'm immature and autistic and didn't figure it out this round. Maybe there's chance that next round I will. But my instinct is like, I think most relationships are going to be imperfect. Most humans, in fact, all that I've ever met or listened to, even my favorite coaches like Peter Sage and Tom Bilyeu, are absolutely imperfect and are happy to admit that. That's one of the things I like the most about them, is they sort of embrace that, they definitely embrace that evolutionary learning kind of aspect. This lip ink is getting old. I need a replacement. All my makeup needs replacement. This is what we call making do. And I think it's looking better. I don't have my glasses on, but it's a little bit better. I think it is. And I guess that's related to the point I'm trying to get at, is that the coaches that I'm following lately, the mentors and gurus that I find useful, help me remember that it's a process, not a destination. That there's no perfection, really. There's maybe glimmers of it. We have an Olay moment. We have a feeling of perfection now and then, but it's always temporary. And really, I think aiming for a little bit better makes things better. And maybe it's not the best we can do all the time. I don't know. Maybe sometimes we can do better than that. I think that's important to reflect on. Can I do better? Should I be doing better? But I also think it's important to just do the best you can and get on with your day sometimes, right? So, yeah. I think that was 13 minutes well spent, all in all, because I think I do feel like I look better, and whether I do or don't doesn't really matter, right? It's just about how I feel about it is really the most relevant thing to me, anyway. And yeah, there you have it. Another episode of Putting on a Better Face with Aunt Angel. I hope this has been entertaining on some level, somehow, and I'd love to know your thoughts on first, second, third level relationships. I didn't really finish articulating that thought, but really what it boils down to is that if we come to our relationships as incomplete, thinking that someone else is going to help fulfill us, fill that hole, then we are bound to have codependent relationships, which are the massive majority of all human relationships that I've seen seem to be that. So I don't know that we should frown on that or think that's bad. I do think that in that context, there's still room for improvement and healthierness. And I could take that to the other end and say, now, perhaps I just haven't experienced that higher level relationship. I have certainly thought I was there a time or two for a little while. And in those times, I think there's still work to be done. It's still imperfection. It's still a process of making the right choice, making choices that are authentic to ourselves and authentic to the love that we want to bring to our partnerships. Yeah, I don't think we get out of, as they say, you don't get fit and then stop going to the gym, although, you might, but you don't get fit and stop doing things to make yourself fit, right? That's not how it works. You don't find the perfect combination of eating and physical activity and then just stop doing that because you've discovered it. Once you've discovered it, then it's an ongoing process of doing it. And in that process, there's always going to be a process of refining, adjusting your sails, because just like the ocean is way bigger than we can fathom, this life experience has way more going on than we are able to comprehend. So there's always going to be adjustment needed. There's always going to be misperception and misunderstanding and misalignment that needs bringing back, coming back, beginning again, starting over, adjusting, letting go, all of those things. That's my 2 cents. Here's my little bit better face. Let me know what you think about all of it. And thanks for being you. Thanks for letting me be me. Stay courageous, stay curious, and if you can, stay free. Ciao for now.